2 years ago, Mexico's court ruled abortion was not a crime in one northern state and set off a slow chain of events to decriminalize the practice. Now, Mexico's Supreme Court has ruled that abortion is no longer a crime nationwide. While the decision does not grant every woman in Mexico immediate access to the procedure, activists are hailing it as a significant step forward.
The unanimous ruling by Mexico's top court requires all federal public health services and institutions to offer abortions to anyone who requests it. In its judgment, the country's highest court declared federal criminal penalties for abortion unconstitutional, as they violate the rights of women.
Today, Mexican society, women, support networks, feminists are doing spectacular work in Mexico so that all women, if they so choose, have the right to an abortion in a safe way.
The decision is receiving a mixed reaction on the streets of the Catholic-majority country.
I believe that we should not take anyone's life. We're human beings, and I think abortion, it is not right.
For example, when a woman is raped or when they don't want to have a child, I know that many people think, oh, well, why don't you give the child up for adoption? But they don't feel the pain that they went through to have it. And that's why I am in favor of abortion.
The court decision extends a Latin American trend of widening access to the procedure, often referred to as a green wave, in reference to the green bandanas carried by women protesting for abortion rights in the region. The ruling in Mexico comes as the U.S. Supreme Court moved to overturn federally guaranteed abortion rights last year.
We will continue to lobby. Let's remember what happened in the United States. After 40 years, the Supreme Court reversed its abortion decision, and we are not going to stop until Mexico guarantees the rights to life from the moment of conception.
Before the ruling, abortion was only permitted in 12 of Mexico's 32 states. Now, the remaining 20 states that still criminalize abortion will have to abide by the court's ruling. Activists say they'll continue their lobbying to ensure all penalties are lifted at the state level as well.
Let's get more on this now from Rebecca Gompatz, founder and director of Women on Waves. That's an organization that aims to prevent unsafe abortions. Welcome to the program. Rebecca, why did Mexico's Supreme Court decide to decriminalize abortion now?
Thank you so much for having me. So there was already a decision last year where it was decriminalized, but it left it up to the states to remove the criminal codes from the state laws. And that didn't go fast enough. Many states did not move ahead. And so now this decision is actually saying that it's really it's the obligation to provide safe abortion services so that everywhere in the country, people with unwanted pregnancies can get abortions in federal hospitals. And I think that is very important so that it actually also guarantees the access to an abortion. What is very important about these rulings is that what it did, it really undermined and underwrote the importance of legalizing abortion for social justice, because it said also that it's especially the poor people that are suffering from these restricted laws and that it's creating social injustice. So it was a ruling that went much further than just acknowledging that it's a human right, but also that it's extremely important for social justice and to alleviate poverty in a country.
Now, Mexico's hospitals are obviously not set up to perform abortions yet, at least in much of the country. How long will it take, do you think, to establish the infrastructure needed to provide abortion services around the country?
Well, you don't need any infrastructures. Most of the abortions can be done with abortion pills, with medicines. These medicines have been registered and available in Mexico since more than 10 years, since Mexico City legalized abortion. And so, in principle, in many places, abortion has already been available, even where it's restricted.
Right.
So the infrastructure, only
so it shouldn't take very long. Yeah. I just wanted to. Sorry.
Are used.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I just wanted to ask you whether this move by Mexico will impact the abortion debate elsewhere in the Americas, because it could be sending a signal.
Well, that is difficult to say. We know that many in Latin America, the women's rights movement has been extremely strong and has fought for the legalization of abortion in many places. Argentina legalized abortion, as you said before, and there's, in other places there have been pushes as well. Ecuador is another place where there has been a lot of pressure put on trying to get abortion legalized. What it will do, it will set an example, which is very important. But these decisions are so dependent on local political infrastructure. The fact that there are Supreme Court judges that are supporting this is also the consequence of, a long history of social politics in Mexico. In other countries, you see different kind of local political infrastructures where there's actually more right-wing, more conservative judges that have been appointed and are making these decisions. So perhaps Chile is another place where it will be really interesting to look what is going to happen there. But it's not easy to predict this.
Rebecca Gompertz from Women on Waves, thank you very much.
Thank you.